What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I know I've been a little delinquent this summer. Obviously, that happens. You can see in the background, I actually put out my hockey book last month, Coast to Coast, available exclusively on Amazon.com. If you're into novels about hockey and other facts of life that are presented using hockey as a vehicle, I recommend buying it exclusively on Amazon.com. I'm going to sound like a Ashley Schaefer BMW, little used car salesman, but gotta pimp your own work. There's been a few things going on this week. For the first week of, or the second week of September, Jesus Christ, September 14th already. There's been a flurry of transactions, I should say, and obviously the big domino to fall was Erik Karlsson trading in Canada's capital for Northern California, going to the Sharks, and that deal we all knew was coming eventually. We didn't know where he was going to end up, but we knew he was not going to start the season as an Ottawa Senator. Although then again, the ownership group's that fucking stupid that you never really can tell. Eugene. But I don't think Ottawa got a fair package back. I mean, if you saw my Twitter feed yesterday, @PowerPlay with CJ, again, sounded like Ashley Schaefer over here. Tierney, nice player. Rudolph Balcers, DeMello, they are what they are. I like Josh Norris. I think he's going to be a very, very, very good third-line center in the NHL. Maybe second-line upside, but he is what he is. And again, I like him. I like his game a lot. Good, typical American player. Part of the development team. A lot of grit in his game, but he's not going to be winning any scoring titles for it. It's not a knock on him. It's the reality of it. San Jose's first rounder in 2020 because their 2019 pick is going to Buffalo if they make the playoffs. And if they miss the playoffs, this is the most colossal failure in history of hockey. So you can bank on that 2020 going to Ottawa. Ottawa doesn't have a first round pick this year. Let that sink in for a second, because obviously the ill-fated Duchesne deal, they're going to be by far, at least on paper, the worst team in the league. And, Jack Hughes is out there. They're not going to end up with, it's kind of the Brooklyn Nets of the NBA, where they traded all those picks to the Celtics, and they ended up sucking for a while after Garnett and Pierce left, and, they had nothing to show for their ineptitude. And, the Celtics were able to put together a pretty good team while simultaneously having these high picks. So, always something to think about. It's something interesting when good teams have high picks because they fleece dumb teams. You see it all throughout sports. But I think Karlsson, Brent Burns, and Vlasic, that's as deep a blue line as you're going to get. I think even as Jumbo Joe gets into his late 30s, I think he's 39 now, he's got plenty of hockey. And not necessarily plenty of hockey, but he's got some good hockey left in him. Vandekane's going to be there for a full season. We're going to see what Pavelski can do as he gets a litlittle bit older. It's going to be a team to beat out there. One of the favorites in the West. Another favorite in the West is the Vegas Golden Knights. They added Max Pacioretty. I like that deal a lot. I like Kurt Suzuki, but I don't love him. I think Cody Glass is a better player. I think Bergevin could have gotten a better return for his captain. But this was another saga that just dragged out. You had essentially a lame duck captain, if you will, that needed a contract extension that the team wasn't. Maybe Karlsson, I think they would have broken the bank for him, but for what reason would he have taken that deal? Where I think Patches, they weren't ready to break the bank for him. They're already fucked with Weber and Carey Price's contract. So, what are you going to do with another additional massive deal? And quite frankly, I think the Pacioretty deal that he signed with Vegas was excellent. $7 a year for 4 years. Shitting me? That's fucking amazing. And again, you're adding a guy that can kind of replace what James Neal took with him. I mean, here's the thing with Vegas. I think there is going to be a little bit of a drop-off. I think they're a great team. They're definitely going to be a contender in the West. Adding Pacioretty further reinforces that. But they lost Perron, too, and Perron had a great year for them. He went back to St. Louis for the, thousandth time. But, again, I'm really, really, really intrigued by the Pacific Division because I think, Calgary got better via signing James Neal. Vegas is very good. They didn't take a loss this summer. They took it on the neck, losing some guys like the real deal. But, you're able to add Max Pacioretty, you're in a good spot. Obviously, we talk ad nauseum with San Jose. I mean, you whiff out on Tavares and Pacioretty, and then you're able to pull Erik Karlsson out of your hat. That's a, really, really good summer for Dougie Wilson. And then you look at Edmonton. You say, you have the best player to come into the league over the last however many years. He's done everything you've asked of him. In his 2 full seasons, he's had 100-point seasons, and you can't build around him. You trade away a league MVP. You're shit in terms of, you've jack shit on your blue line right now, and your forwards aren't much better. And, you just say to yourself, talk about wasting the prime of a truly elite player. But that's Edmonton. Staying out west, Anaheim's kind of stayed the course. We'll see what happens with Kessler and Eves' injuries and illnesses. And then Vancouver's trying to tank. So in fairness to the Canucks, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, they're in a good spot to put themselves in a position to have a Hughes brothers reunion out there. So we'll see what happens on that front as the season goes on. I am very intrigued by that Pacific. That's going to be, for East Coast guys like myself, staying up late and watching those games is going to be a ton of fun. A little bit closer to home for my beloved Bees. The Atlantic Division, Henrik Zetterberg, we knew was unlikely he was ever going to play again. Kenny Holland came out today and said, yeah, he's done. And I think I'm not going to, in terms of the Hall of Fame, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's a first ballot, which I know is a cop-out answer. I think he had enough good years, won a Conn Smythe, has a cup ring. Yeah, he's in. So that's that. And Stevie Yzerman, going back to he stepped down as GM. He's going to be in an advisory role for the Lightning. I think the Sage keeps struggling. I'm rusty. It's my preseason too. I think the stage is set. The stage is set. Jesus Christ, say that 3 times fast. For him to go back to Detroit. Whether it's next year or the year after, I think he will be in some capacity with the Red Wings organization, which, I think he did a great job in Tampa. I really enjoyed watching the team put together. But to see him associated with any other team but the Red Wings, as someone who grew up in the 90s, and, it was interesting. So that's that. Oh, and also this week, Tyler Seguin signed an extension. 8 years, $9.8 million a year. Good deal for both sides. No state income tax in Texas. He made out well. Stars made out well, keeping him in the fold. And, it's just one of those situations where you got to pay high-end talent, and that's the going rate. So, it was a pipe dream of him reaching free agency and coming back to the Bees, but it was ended up being just that. So, anyway, that's all I got to start of the Power Play with CJ. I'll try to update more and more into this as we get closer and closer to the season. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the preseason and beyond, and buy my book, Coast to Coast, exclusively on Amazon.com. Later, guys.